Welcome everyone to this month's Astro Colorscope. My name's Elizabeth Harper. My website is sealedwithlove.com. So the idea of the Astro Colorscope is that in a moment I'm going to pick 3 crystals from my crystal bag. I'll throw them into a circle of 12 houses. We'll see which houses the crystals are aligned with. Then I'll read the crystal energy, the colors, and the house energy that they're in. I'll also take a bead from my bead bag just to see what the influence of an extra piece of color is. Then the third thing is I'll take a card from the Voyager deck and I will ask you to take a look at the card. Hopefully you'll be able to see it properly. And I'll ask you to see which image in the card you're most attracted to, and what that image means for you. I'll be looking at the card as well and letting you know what I feel the influence is. So before we get started on your crystals, I just want to talk a little bit about what's going on this September with the astrological influences. So this is kind of a big month for aspects in the heavens. There is a sense of a shift, of a change, and it's almost like I almost feel like a breakthrough month for all of us. So from the 1st onward, there is a Venus-Mars conjunct, and it almost feels like it's a start of a breakthrough energy. Then on the 5th, the Sun is trine Pluto, and it feels like you're going to find something. And it might be that you find lost love. On the 6th, Venus goes direct. It's been retrograde for at least the last month, 6 weeks. There's a sense of not only finding something, but maybe finding that love for someone else, but also for yourself. It's almost like you've been looking for something, and it could have been that you've been looking outside of yourself, but I also feel if you've been looking inside, maybe for an idea, not necessarily love, it could be an idea, maybe a business idea. It might be that you'll find your fabulous home that you wanted, but it's because something is shifting within you. So then around the 8th, Mars and Uranus are trine, and that Mars energy is very much about passion. So we started out the month with Mars and Venus conjunct. So it's almost like there's a big influence of Mars, at least to me, for that first week of September. So I feel that there's passion. I feel that with Venus becoming direct, there's a lot of love energy that's starting to come out. So it almost feels like there's a big breakthrough, a dam that's opening up. Lots of love, lots of passion, lots of activity. And then the 9th, Mercury is square Pluto, and it feels like that's an upset, that there's going to be some criticism maybe, and it's not necessarily somebody being critical of you. It may be that you're criticizing yourself or criticizing others. It just feels like there's a sense of criticism that comes up around that time. Then the 17th, Mercury goes retrograde. We know what happens with that, right? So communication goes a little bit off. But at the same time, Saturn moves into Sagittarius. Jupiter is opposing Neptune. And it feels like this is a wake-up time. It feels like there's a wake-up to reality. And that communication, it almost feels like you can no longer access something that you've been pretending has been in your life. So it's almost like you can no longer access that, and you can no longer pretend anymore. So your imagination, it's not that your imagination is going, it's just that what you've imagined to be true, what you've imagined to be your reality is no longer a part of your life. That's what I feel that energy is all around. So then there is that breakthrough. There's Pluto moves into direct. It's in Capricorn on the 24th. Get my words right here, and there's a feeling with that. That is a planet of transformation, and I feel almost as if again we're moving through this big breakthrough wake up call the whole of the month. It's almost like we're shaken awake with that, and then on the 27th. there is a supermoon, and this supermoon, there's a lunar eclipse that goes with this supermoon, and I feel, again, it's in Aries, so I feel that Mars energy is really coming through, and it, you know, there is still a feeling of a breakthrough, like something is breaking out, and it doesn't have to be negative, it can be really, really positive, but I feel as if whatever illusions you've had or whatever you've been playing with, you now have to get serious, and the illusions are no longer there, and it's almost like you are suddenly coming alive. So if you imagine, what I'm seeing is, I'm seeing this doll. So if you imagine you've been a doll, you've been like Pinocchio or something, and then suddenly you become a person. So that's the sense of it. That's the kind of movement of the energy through the whole month. There is a partial solar eclipse on the 13th, and of course that is around that fabulous new moon as well. So with the new moon in Virgo, it feels like you are making your wishes now, and those wishes are for the long-term future, that this is not about a quick fix, that this is a long-term energy. What is it you want in the next 5 years? And that's what it feels like. Ooh. That's what it feels like that new moon is about, and then the full moon is that culmination. It almost, again, feels like you are breaking out, you're breaking free. So it could be that you're breaking free of a relationship, but it could also, I really feel that it's breaking free of illusions. I felt this little shiver. When I get shivers, it's usually about the truth. Okay, so now remember, I offer different consultations on my website, sealedwithlove.com. You can get card readings or intuitive soul guidance, all kinds of different things. You can also have a crystal gem reading as well. Now, before we get onto your crystals, remember to subscribe to my love letter at bit.ly/color kit. You'll get a free gift of a fabulous color kit. You can find out all your true colors in that color kit. Okay, so let's get started with your crystals. Capricorn. Well, now it looks like you've been through a lot of changes. The first stone that came up is sodalite. This went into your first house. This is a beautiful energy of this deep blue. And I feel almost as if you're at the start of a journey. It's almost like you are finding your truth. You are discovering all the wonderful things about yourself. There are new directions for you to take. And there's a sense of, get my hair out the way, there's a sense of you, it's almost like you're listening. So it feels like you're listening more to the vibrations around you, to the messages that are coming, to the wisdom of maybe older people or wisdom of teachers. This went into your first house, which is about you. And I feel that you are becoming the wise one, that you are changing, that you are becoming that wonderful soul that people look up to. And it's almost like there's a rite of passage that comes in this particular energy for you. It feels really good. Then in your eighth house went this piece of tanzanite. And when I saw this going into your eighth house, there was really a feeling of you reconnecting or connecting to your psychic powers, to your intuition, to your mediumistic, to your healing energy, vibration, etc. Tanzanite, because of this violet stone, it's about change. The eighth house it links to death and rebirth. And so you've got kind of a double whammy that's going on here. You are going through a death, you're going through the rebirth. But I feel as if you're on the other side of that, and you are coming into this place where you know that you have to make certain changes, but it's all part of this new path that you're moving on, that you're moving into. With the tanzanite as well, I feel almost as if you are valuing it's like there's something that you are valuing that you just didn't value before. You didn't see it, you didn't notice it. It could be a person that you're valuing now, or the relationship you have with your parents. There's a sense of you valuing something that it's always been there around you, but you didn't accept it or acknowledge it before. And I feel that this stone is saying that you're going to do that. I also feel that you are going to possibly volunteer or do something where you're giving back. There's a feeling of giving back to others with this. So then the next stone, the final stone, is this piece of pink, kind of red spinel. This went into your 9th house. This stone is a fairy godmother stone. I love this. And it's kind of saying there's going to be a trip, there's going to be a journey, and it might be a little bit unexpected. And that journey is going to take you somewhere magical, especially with the fairy godmother energy, and especially with the 9th house as well. Now, I'm thinking of this as a magical journey that's physical, but it could also be intellectual or spiritual, especially with that 9th house. Sagittarian house links to philosophies and to higher education. So whatever this is, it's like you're heading somewhere, or expanding your mind into some new vista, which really feels good to me. Now, this is the 8th house. This is the 9th house. This is kind of that spiritual crown chakra, and this is kind of the grounded earth root chakra. So it's almost like we're going spirit and then earth again. But again, this is about the rebirth that has been happening. So you may still be in the throes of that rebirth, and then this is bringing you back to earth. This is a great time actually to move house, to move to a different place, or to take a vacation, or to go to school, to college, to start a different kind of education. It may not be a long education, but it feels like this is a great time for this. The stone, the bead that came up for you is this kind of smoky quartz color, and I feel that this is saying that financially things are stabilizing out. Let's see if anything else wants to come with that. I'm getting, I'm seeing, as I'm looking at this, I'm seeing karate. So there's a sense of you're protected, you're being protected, you're okay, you're being looked after. I think that is just the message from that. That's what I feel. Yeah. And then the card that came up is the Sun card. Take a look at that. See if there's anything that most attracts you at this moment. Ask yourself, what does that mean? When I look at this, I see, what is that there? Oh, it's a fish. I keep looking at fish just lately. There's a fish right there. And it's like you can hardly see it because it seems to be camouflaged by all the other images around it. So I feel again with this, that it's saying that you are protected. You're going to be looked after. That you can just continue on the path that you're on. Everything looks like it's okay. I feel that you are being protected, you are being looked after, you are being cared for. Your guides and angels are around you. And there is this wonderful, fabulous trip that's coming up. And I feel that that's why you're being told that, you're being looked after. Because maybe the trip is something that's a little bit scary for you. But all the vibrations are saying it's okay because you're going to be safe. You're going to be okay. Okay, that's it for this month's Astro Colorscope. I hope you enjoyed it. Do please give it a thumbs up if you did. Share it with your friends, and you can share it by email too. Let me know in the comments below if the messages resonated. And remember, you can grab my free color kit, find out your true colors at bit.ly/color kit. I will see you next week. Lots of coloricious blessings. Bye.